Pusha P. Yeah, Pusha P. Turn me up. Turn me up, P. Corners in the paddock, get my piece. Pusha P. Cop new hammer for my beat.
Hello, wonderful people of YouTube. This is Cree Cree. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. I truly appreciate you. Man, oh man, I'm slowly but surely creeping up there in subscribers. I thank y'all. I thank y'all for that. I'm like I said, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. I've been at this for a few months now. I'm starting to kind of get the hang of things and everything. So, thank you for the ones that have subscribed and has been sharing my content and all that. I do appreciate it. I apologize in advance for all the smacking that I'm probably doing. I'm sucking on a mint right now, and hopefully everyone is having a nice and groovy April so far. We 4 months into the year, and it's already been some stuff. All the stuff going on with Diddy, like my God. My God, these houses of cards that have been built up all these years, they all just slowly but surely just coming and tumbling down. You know what I'm saying? It's true what they say. What's done in the dark will always come to light. It might take 20, 30 years or so for that to happen, but it's gonna happen. Don't think that it won't. All that money and all that power ain't gonna keep you protected all your life. It's gonna have to come down at some point. Just make sure you got all your shit together whenever that day comes. But anyway, I was on Facebook today and I came across a post. I honestly don't even remember who posted. It was just a random post that came across my timeline on Facebook. And I kind of wanted to talk about that today because some of the comments that was in that post really irked me to the core. So here was the post. It's basically a text or a message that was sent from a man. It was sent from a man to his woman. And he basically checks his woman for getting into it with another man at the club. And the post was basically asking, what were your thoughts on what he said to her? Was he wrong? Was he right? Blase, Skippy. So here, I'm gonna post it right here. So he says to the woman, and I guess this was after the fact, he says, yes, because what the F, babe? You are literally starting nursing school, but you, instead of carrying yourself like an upstanding model citizen, you want to get into it with a dude at the club. Like, do you not see the disconnect here? Do better. You lucky I wasn't there, because you would have gotten taken smooth up out of there. Let me make something perfectly clear for you. You are a representation of me when you are out in public. I bet not ever hear you getting into it with anyone, especially not no dude. You are a lady, but just not any lady. You are my lady, and you need to govern yourself as such. Do I make myself clear? Okay. I'm gonna read off some of these comments that are in here that just kind of made me feel away. One person said, my father raised me already. I'm not your project. There is another one that says, if he's not my husband, don't talk to me like that. What was the guy she was arguing with doing to her? Now, okay, I can understand where you're coming from on that, because what was he doing? Was he being disrespectful to her? Was he putting hands on her? Was he, putting his hands on her? Was he? But I don't know. But regardless of what he might have been doing, you don't make the situation worse. You walk away. You find a way to de-escalate the situation. You don't just pop off and fight back, especially in a club. You're not gonna. It's not going to end well, whether he was in the wrong or not. There were a lot of people that did agree. Then there were other people that's like, well, I need more info. There was one that also says, I agree to an extent, because honestly, this is why a lot of women are single. They want a man until it's time for the man to step in and be a man. It's different between a controlling man and a man who cares for your representation, for yourself and for him. That could be who you hang with or what you wear. It all depends on the type of man that you're dealing with, and not all of them are coming from a controlling mainframe. If you are not used to a man question, you are asking those uncomfortable questions, and then sometimes we need to reevaluate our thought process as women without emotions and more logic. He could have meant it from an honest place, for real, but his delivery was different and could have been from anger. But we too emotional first and not logical, and we get aggressive first. Because what the F are you doing arguing with a man, number one? Sounds more like his aggression came from hearing it from someone else and the results of what actually could have happened, or also what could still happen later down the line if they ever run into that person again. Do I make myself clear? It was a little unnecessary. Why was that unnecessary? No, it wasn't. You know, my thing is this, right? I watch Kendra G on YouTube and on Instagram and everything, and I used to watch Kevin Samuels on a regular basis. You know, all the channels and content creators that's in that manosphere community. You know, I watch these videos and I hear a lot of what the women are demanding and what they're wanting, and it's very telling. And it also shows me where we as women fall short and where we are constantly contradicting ourselves. You can't sit up here and demand, oh, I need a man's man. I need a strong man. I need a man that's going to protect me. I need a man that's going to take care of me. And the minute he does, then you crying about him being, oh, well, you ain't my daddy and you don't need to disrespect me, blah, 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 blah. I read that caption. Well, yeah, I read that caption, that post quite a few times. I'm trying to figure out, well, where was the disrespect? What disrespect that did he do? It seemed more like she was doing more of the disrespecting to herself. I remember the brick lady that was on here on the internet, all them, quite a few months ago, crying and mad because ain't nobody protect her because somebody supposedly hit her with a brick. Then we found out that was a lie. And then she turned around, I think she got arrested and is facing 10 years because before she posted that video, she was up in another video putting hands on another man. What are you doing? What are you doing that for? How? Y'all kill me with that. How you gonna sit up here and cry and moan and complain about not being protected when you walking around here acting like a You can't have it both ways, baby. That's not how this works. You think just because you a woman, you got the upper hand and thinking that you gonna do what you want to do and say what you want to say and thinking that it ain't gonna be no dire consequences behind that. And then when you F around and find out, now you mad. Oh, they're trying to tear a black woman down. Oh, they're not protecting us. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. But what are you doing? What are you doing? You ain't making the situation no better. We've lived and chanted this independent woman life for so long. You don't know how to sit back and let a man take control and take charge. And I know some of y'all gonna listen to this and be like, oh, she being the pick me. Oh, she being pick me, sure, and all that other shit. But listen here, I'm 43 years old. I done been there and done that. If I can be quite transparent with you here. In my first marriage, I was very much the man in the relationship. I was, can't no man do for me what I can't do for myself. I can do this, I can do that. I don't need a man for this, I don't need a man for that. But then I turned around and got mad at my husband because he wasn't being man enough to take control as the husband. The roles were very much reversed. I was the leader. I was the one that was taking control and taking charge, and he sat back and let me do it, and I hated him for that. Well, I didn't hate him for it, but I kind of resented him for that because I'm like, you supposed to be the man. You supposed to do this. Well, how he gonna do that if I'm turning around and doing everything for him? The dynamic in my first marriage, it was very backward. Everything that you would expect for a husband to do in a marriage or in a relationship, that's what I was doing. But that was what I demanded. I grew up with that independent mindset and can't nobody do this for me and can't nobody do that. I didn't know how to sit back and let the man be the man. So when I got in my second marriage, it was kind of a struggle. It was kind of a struggle because that's not what I was used to. I was not used to somebody else taking the reins and letting me sit back and be the wife. I wasn't used to that. So I had to sit back and reflect and take a hard look at myself and really be like, you know what, you tripping. You tripping. Why was you doing that? Why was you doing this and that? I was putting hands on my husband and everything, because I'm like, well, I'm a woman. I can do that. I can do that. He can't do that, but I can do that. I ain't gonna let no man walk all over me. I ain't gonna let him do this and that. But I wasn't making it any better. The dynamic and the energy in our relationship was just so off and so backwards. But unfortunately, it took for that marriage to be over tragically, because he passed away. It wasn't until after the fact when I really had to sit back and look and realize, you know, the wrong that I did, the part that I played in what happened in our marriage. Because trust and believe, if you know, you know, it was not kittens and rainbows at all. But then no marriage is going to be perfect. It's not going to be happy. It's not going to be blissful. But I had to sit back and ask myself, well, what is it that I want? What do I want? What do you want? What do you want out of your relationship? If you want a doormat that you can just walk all over and not take any control and not take any charge and not be the leader, then get you one of them. But don't ask for that and then turn around and be resentful because he ain't man enough. He ain't being a man. He a punk. He a simp. He this, he that. It don't work like that. You can't have it both ways. Remember that bus driver video from way back in the day? What'd he say? What'd he say when he uppercut that chick that was trying him? Yeah, you want to act like a man? You want to be treated like a man? That's exactly what I'm gonna do. You want to act like a man? I'm gonna treat you like one.
Somebody. You going to jail now? You going to jail now? You going to jail? I don't care. She want to be a man? I'm going to treat you like a man.
One thing that I'm finding interesting as I'm looking at these comments, especially on my post, because I actually posted about this also, just to get everybody's thoughts on it, that's on my timeline. People are more upset by what he said at the end of his rant when he said, do I make myself clear? And I'm kind of curious as to why that is such a trigger to a lot of people. Nothing else is a trigger, but that's the trigger. Everything else is okay, but that. And I'm not understanding that, because if the tables were turned and your man was out here acting the plum ass fool and getting into trouble and almost getting into trouble and things could have really gone left, would you not do that same thing? Would you not say that? Would you not lay into his ass and then at the end of that be like, do you understand me? Do I make myself clear? Wouldn't y'all do that? So like I said, I don't understand what the issue or what the trigger is behind that. Like I said, you keep that same energy. It needs to be both ways. So if it's triggering to you, then I would expect that you would never ever come at them like that and say, do I make myself clear? But I'm like, it ain't like he said, did you hear me, bitch? He didn't like he did nothing like that. He laid down the law and he was still respectful about it. Never called her out her name, never talked bad about her, never. Was no disrespect in that. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, low key, that's a little bit of a turn on. To me, that's a turn on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Get a little aggressive. You understand me? You know that I don't know, boy. That yeah. You know, my husband he'll get a couple of them off a year. I let him get a couple of them off a year, and I just sit there and take it, because 9 times out of 10 I probably fucked up. I probably did something real fucked up to where it had to be to that point. Or I'll let him get off, maybe 1 or 2 shut the fuck up or something like that. It don't happen often, but it has happened. And like I said, I've not had no issue with it, because like I said, 9 times out of 10 I probably was fucking up somewhere, you know. It just happens. But you know what, that's all I got to say. That's all I got to say on the matter. I want to hear from you all. What is your take on what was said, what that man said to his woman, what the approach was? Did you think it was disrespectful? Did you think it was right on the money? Were you triggered by some of the statements that was in that post or in that message that he left? So yeah, let's talk about it. If you have made it this far, please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see y'all next time. My name is Cree Cree. Y'all be easy.